Alright, what's going on guys, and welcome to the video. So my second take on this, the first one, for some reason my microphone volume got turned down. I don't know how that happened because I never touched it, but something weird happened and I had to reset the drivers on my headphones too. So I don't know what happened, but anyway guys, we're going to be taking a look at the 5916. I have never played this tank before. Even on my old account, I never really went up the Chinese line. And this thing, like, overall, I gotta be honest with you guys, I don't really like it that much. And the reason why is because of the shell velocity. I don't like low shell velocity. And on this tank, it's 700 meters a second on the APs. Where this tank is good, though, is kind of dueling against other lights like right here. So I'm going to go to my camera view. You'll see this in real time. Me going after the 12T, me going after the T52. I get one more into the 12T, and then the T52 is also working with me against these two. So it's the two of us here. T50 has good DPM, so I'm trying to kind of stay away from this guy. Try and get one more shot to him there, and I'm seeing that the VK is over here. So I'm just going to go now before I get hit, because I want to get up here before these guys can get over here and have shots at me, because you can see the KV2 is coming up too. So this guy knocks out my gun, I repair it, he hits it again and kills it again. So I guess the gun is not great on this thing, guys, in terms of I missed the VK actually comes by and then sneaks back out again and gets a shot into me. I guess the gun, craps out pretty easily on this tank. I don't know why, but I got hit in it twice and it dies twice. Trying to get a shot into the VK, guys, and from here, like, this is hard to poke with a broken gun, right? So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to drop the camera so you guys can kind of see the HP. And overall, guys, like, I think the pen is pretty good. Like, if you remember the pen on the MT25, I know it's lacking, right? The pen on here is, I wish it would stop doing that. The pen on here is 138 on the standard rounds, and the APCRs, it's 180. So with 180 pen, guys, I mean, you can go through a lot and a lot of stuff at, all the way up to tier 8, right? So I don't think that the pen is an issue on this thing. I think that's where it kind of averages out as a good, light tank. Or an average light tank. But again, guys, the shell velocity, I just can't stand the shell velocity. And the gun is not very accurate either. It's like a 0.38, 0.39 dispersion, something like that. So eventually I'm going to come up and light this, guys. I know this guy was saying in the chat, we need eyes here, we need eyes. And I'm like, just give me a second, man. I'm still kind of doing my thing here, trying to get some damage. And now I'm going to come up and see, if I can spot here. And the way I do this, guys, is I keep poking up and going back down to make sure I'm not being lit, right? Because if you pull all the way up and just get in this bush and you're lit, you're going to get destroyed. So I'm testing the water, so to speak. And finally, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to pull into this bush once I know I'm not being lit. And we spot the ARL. I couldn't think of that ugly French TD. So we spot him, and now I'm looking for shots at the ARL 44 over here. And this is where you have to know the map, right, guys? I've explained this so many times, but the way this crossfire works, like this, I'm easily able to take shots in this ARL 44 without getting hit by anything back here. And, the reason that is because I have the cover, and this guy's uphill from me. And, or I should say kind of downhill from me because I'm up on this hill. And as he keeps poking up, I have the easier and easier time hitting him, right? So once you kind of understand how this map works, how the crossfire works, that becomes a lot easier to take shots at people that are over here once you understand like where you have the shots, right, guys? So that's, I mean, just simple map awareness, right? I also wanted to mention to you guys, I play this map differently now. I used to always come up here with all my lights. The problem with this is that as the game has kind of evolved, you have a lot more people that I think understand what I'm telling you now about this map and how the light tanks are supposed to spot, because now a lot of light tanks go over to here, they poke up to this corner where this bush is, and you're lit. If you're anywhere in this area, you're lit. So if you want to come over here, you got to stay like back here, you know what I mean, if you're in a light tank, from the side that we spawned at. You got to come up here and stop like right here, because if you try and go into this area where I'm drawing on the map, you're going to get spotted like half the time, guys, if there's a smart light tank on the other team, and you're going to get like annihilated. If there's a rock you can stay safe behind, but once you're lit there, it's so hard to get out of there, you know. And you want to get to a spot in a light tank that you can get away from, because if you can't get away easily, then you know you can't retreat well, you know what I mean, if you need to retreat. So this guy kills the Excalibur. I throw my tank off the side thinking that I'm not gonna just, you know, get killed, because once the game's over, guys, after a few seconds, your tank becomes like immortal basically. But I guess I just, you know, missed that window, so I threw my tank off and killed myself. But anyway, guys, 1200 damage, 680 assist. Pretty good game for me. I would say above average. And that's the game on Fords. So let's get into the next game. I don't have the end plates, by the way. These are end plates that I have for the T54 lightweight video I'm going to show you guys. Because I also got that recently, and I love that thing, guys. It's a very, very good tank. But you will see that in the next video. So this one is on Erlenberg, I believe it's called, guys. It's on that snow map, and like I said, I recorded this already, so I remember really well, you know, the replays in the games. So we're gonna get into this game, guys, and we're gonna again see kind of how this tank is working, what this tank is looking like on different maps and different situations. So overall, I would say the tank is an all-arounder, guys. Like if you're looking for an all-around light tank, it plays like the T37 or the MT25, stuff like that. The 12T is the one light tank at this tier that has its own playstyle because of the clip and just because of the really weird, like not dispersion, the elevation. That problem has that gun has serious problems with like elevation and depression. The gun depression on this is also pretty bad, but at least you have some elevation, right? Yeah, the concealment, guys, is average. The one thing I would like to say though is the mobility. I'm not a fan of the mobility. I think this thing is kind of slow. Maybe it's just me, but to me it feels very slow, like even slower than the LTG. We're getting up to 60, and that's about the max speed this thing can do. 59, 60 kilometers an hour. And to me, that's pretty slow, guys. I was on another map, I forget what it was called, but I got outspotted before I even got close to the bush I wanted to use. So I would say, guys, like, passive scouting is not a strong, you know, part of this tank. If you're going to get something to passive scout in, just get the 12T. Honestly, you know, like I think even the T37 might be better to passive scout. The concealment just isn't the greatest on this thing. I think it's definitely better on the 12T. And this tank is kind of like, to me, I feel like you're supposed to play this tank more like an LT432 or something like that. It's kind of a more active, slightly aggressive scout with, you know, the DPM, like decent DPM and the pen and stuff like that. It's more of an aggressive light tank in my opinion, and that's kind of how I've been trying to play it. Maybe I'm wrong in that sense. I mean, you know, there's always a chance I'm wrong, but that's kind of how I play it. So I like it. Just looks aggressive too, you know, like so. And I actually thought it had some turret armor, but I guess not. I looked at the armor, guys, and it's like non-existent. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I think of this tank, guys. You know, I honestly just don't really like it because of the shell velocity. Like, I cannot stand tanks that have no shell velocity. It just really annoys me, because anytime you're trying to take shots at someone that's a decent distance away, you just can't do anything. You can't hit shit, you know. So the Type 64, the Type 64, guys, he buggered off rather quickly. I thought he left a little too soon. I'm getting spotted here, and from really all I was trying to do in this bush is just see like where the Hellcat was and stuff. But I think the Type 64 just left a little too soon, and now I'm out here by myself, so I have to kind of make a decision whether I want to stay out here and risk it. Because once you're here, guys, like people can easily come around and shoot you. The only person I really have back here is the Type 64. Maybe the STRV. We got a couple already back there, but you know, there's not much support back here. Like the Nash is over here, and we got 3 mediums over here. The Achilles is in the mid. P43 is in the mid. Obviously, the heavies are in the mid. There's not much support. So always be mindful of that, guys. You know, there's just nothing here. to really help me. So I poke up, VK is obviously going to light me, and we're going to get back, and we just do this, guys, for a little while. We're just kind of sitting here, you know, playing around with this VK, and other than that, there's really not much we can do. You know, this map becomes boring, guys, honestly, like, when it gets to a situation like this, because you don't want to press, like, there's no reason for me to press when there's a Hellcat back there, and obviously I'm not going to spot him, given the view range on this thing. So it's like one of those stalemate situations, you know. So I'm finally going to get out of here. It looks like the Type 64 spotted the VK, and he's going to just absolutely whack this guy. I don't know why the VK decides to sit there and try and take shots. Like, why would you sit there and try and, you know, fight someone in the back when you don't even know, like, what's back here? You know, like, we could have had, like, 2 TDs sitting back here, and he could have just got absolutely annihilated. But instead, he sits there trying to pick a fight with the Type 64. Like, I thought that was really dumb on his part, but yeah, so we're pulling back, guys. I'm going to knock these trees because I want the view range like this. So I just knock these trees, and good awareness there by their Artie to see me knocking all those trees. Fortunately for me, I moved out of the way already, so. Yeah, this is it, guys. I mean, we're just sitting here. This is a game that I actually pull back. Like, we were down a few tanks and some HP, and we were able to pull this back pretty well. So, I gotta get my water. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. And yeah, so WZ spots me there, guys, and I don't know why I didn't expect this. Like, I kind of poked out there, like, and shot at the P43 or whoever it was, expecting not to get lit, and I should have guessed that someone was going to be coming up, so. Whew. I'm surprised I made it that far without a sip of water. Made it through the whole first time I recorded this too without one sip of water. So here we are, guys. We're now coming up to the top of this hill, and I'm using this tree as my, you know, concealment. Spot the WZ, here he comes, and now I got to get the heck out of here. And you could see, like, you get spotted very easily in this thing. I take a shot from the P43 here, and you know, I just feel like the concealment is kind of lacking. I only have one concealment on my crew, but the concealment is still like in the low 20s, and I just feel like that's kind of low to me. Maybe it isn't, but to me it feels kind of low. I just feel like I get spotted in this thing way too easily. WZ makes a really stupid play there, guys, and what ends up happening is he gets lit on fire and stuff. I guess he's trying to press me here, but he keeps getting hit. And then he turns and gives me the perfect opportunity to clean him up, because the way he's sitting right here keeps me safe from whatever's back here, so I can easily just poke, shoot him, and there's no way I'm going to get hit from anything else because he's my hard cover. So, not a good play on his part. So, I was going to poke out there. I'm afraid of the blind fire. See, guys, I could have been dead there. And here comes the Hellcat. I ricochet the Hellcat. Unfortunately, I don't know how I ricocheted a Hellcat, but probably went off the gun or something, I don't know. And now he's going to come try and do the same thing, so I'm running away from here, guys. I don't want to be here. Already sitting there, he's trying to, I guess, get a shot into him. It was too late for him to run, so... But, Artie dies, and now we're moving away from this Hellcat. Type 64 is staying back there, and I'm getting out of here. And I'm thinking... At this point, I'm thinking, like, this is going to be my final stand, guys. Because Hellcat comes through here. I cheated death so many times in this game, guys. You can hear Artie firing. And Hellcat misses me, Artie misses me. And I'm basically a one-shot, right? I've been a one-shot for, you know, a good amount of time now. And I'm thinking, like, at this point, there's just nowhere I can go. Like, the Churchill is right here. There's a P43, like, right here. Like, there's just no safe zone for me. Type 64 dies to the P43. So now I know he's, like, right here, right? Like, right in this area somewhere. And STRV is just sitting there doing nothing. I think he's really aware of what's going on. So, yeah. I mean, I think, like, when I look at this again, I think that this is the safest spot, so I start moving over here. And what this spot allows me to do is allows me to stay safe from the Hellcat, at least temporarily, right? If the Hellcat pokes up here, then I'm probably dead. But I'm going to knock some of these trees, guys. Try and keep the church spotted. STRV dies. It's not like he was much help anyway, what he was doing. He was just sitting there. I don't know. He almost looked like he was AFK. 164 W and 8, so, I mean, dude could be playing on a laptop or something like that. You never know. And yeah, guys, so, I mean, this game turns around pretty quick. The P43 dies, the M4A1 is able to clean him up, and I'm able to get a shot to him and stuff like that. And now I poke up, I respot the Churchill. The Churchill starts getting whacked, guys. Hellcat is spotted. I clean up the Hellcat, and now the Churchill is going to, you know, basically die to the M4A1 or Artie or something like that. I know he dies right here. It was the Nash that cleaned him up. So, and now it's 10-9, guys. And I'm telling you, just like that, these games can turn around so quick. So always try and stay alive, guys. You just never know. Like, majority of the time, you're probably going to lose, but sometimes, you know, if you, you just spot a few people and you just, you know, take out 3 or 4 tanks without getting taken out yourself, and the game is right back to where it was. So 10-9. I made a quick little pass there just to see, like, maybe if someone else was coming that way. It would be the Cromwell, really, if anyone. But T78, I'm pretty sure, is still in the mid. So I'm watching the M4, right? Like, as I'm coming up this way, I'm watching the M4 on the map. I'm going like this, like, you know, constantly. That's what you have to do sometimes, guys. Like, if you're ever playing, you know, I'm very aware of what's going on around me. It's kind of like looking in your rear view mirror and your mirrors in your car. Like, I'm constantly, like, checking my mirrors as I'm driving and stuff like that, especially when I ride on my bike to just see my surroundings, what's going on. It's the same thing with World of Tanks. I'm constantly, like, looking at the map, looking up, looking, you know, at the left side of the screen, looking at the right side of the screen, just constantly trying to stay aware of, you know, what's going on. And that's how you are a good light tanker. Map awareness and just overall awareness of where you are, who has shots at you from where. Like, now that I'm coming up here, I know, guys, that, like, I can get hit from anywhere, right? So know your ridges, you know, stuff like that. So I'm going to poke up here. I'm knocking some trees down, guys. I'm trying to stay hidden, and I'm just seeing if by some chance when the binocs kick up, if I can spot Artie somewhere. And I'm not getting anything, so I think I move up a little bit more again. I'm watching the M4A1 on the map consistently, and I'm watching the Nash, and I'm seeing where they're going, and, you know, taking into consideration where they have vision. And I'm like, I don't think anyone's here, because if they were, chances are, at this point, like, probably someone would have been lit here. So I click here, and I just put a question mark, as in, like, I don't think anyone's here, you know, but, you know, maybe you want to check that. And then the Achilles comes in the chat, and he's like hooking off at me. If only we had a scout that didn't suck, and, you know, all this stuff. And let me tell you guys, I never like tooting my own horn, but I feel like I'm a very good light tanker. So, like one of the best, you know, light tankers out there. Definitely a lot of, you know, a good amount of people that are better than me, but I think I'm better than a majority of people. So I just hate it when people tell me I suck, as in, like, they have no idea who I am, man. You know, you have no idea, like, that I'm, like, a light tank specialist, right? So I'm gonna clean up the M44, and you know, it's also funny to me that these people are always the ones to talk when they're like, look at this guy. I guess he's going back for a base defense, but, like, this isn't really gonna help us right now, man. You know, like, you going all the way back here. So whatever, guys, just play your own game. Don't let people bother you. You know, some people just really bother me, man. I just can't stand, like, how toxic they are. I remember there was this guy on Studs this morning, and he just kept, like, telling people they sucked. You know, like, why, man? Like, it's just, you know, you're gonna clean up the T78. There's just no reason to be, like, rude to people, guys, unless they're, like, ramming you or doing something really stupid. You know, just play your own game. So we kill the T78, guys, and now we're going to come here. The M4 had the Cromwell spotted, and the FV. He runs in, he gets killed by the Cromwell, and this Crom is just, he must be tracked or something, because he's not moving. I get one more into him here, and now he's basically a one-shot to me. I'm going to come in here. I remember I bounced this shot on him, and meanwhile this Achilles is still just pretty much doing nothing. So I just can't stand these people, guys. I really can't. So Cromwell dies, guys, and now that I know where the FE is, right? But now I have a tracer on him, so I know that he's approximately like right here. So now I have a good idea of where he's at too. We're gonna come up here, guys. I'm gonna pull a swerve right in front of him, come around this way, and we're gonna give him a little ram, turn around, clean him up, and that's the game. At the very end, I said, "Good game, Achilles. Nice shot," as in like nice shot from all the way back there, because being sarcastic, he didn't have a shot at anything because he was just sitting way back here doing F all, right, guys? So 1291 damage, 701 assist. That's it, guys. That's the game. If you're looking at getting the 5916, good all-around tank, guys. Average concealment, average at best mobility, good pen, average gun handling at best. I would say it's probably more on the poor side, but you can make it work. Shell velocity is crap. There's some good things, some bad things about this tank, guys. But overall, you know, it's an all-around tank. It has that consistent playstyle. You can't play the 12T like this thing because of the way the clip is, right? So the DPM is good on this tank. It's decent and stuff like that. So, and the pen is pretty good. So for me, that's good enough. It's an average tank, guys. Yeah, and that's it. But this was maybe my third or fourth game in the 5916. These two replays were the first few games that I played. So when I only had a one skill crew up to like 80%, we were running, you know, like concealment and the sixth sense that I didn't have yet, and the thing for the gunner and driver for dispersion. I always forget what they're called, guys. Smooth ride and whatever the other one is, guys. I can't think of it right now. Is it snapshot? Something like that. I don't know. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed this one in the 5916, and I will see you guys for the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.